welcome to MangaPod. We are a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we've read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. I am Erin of HappiLeeErin, your host, and with me are two of my three lovely co-hosts, as well as a special guest. Once again, Yokurama is still on hiatus with family stuff, but we send him all of the love and all of the hugs and stuff like that. So let's go around and introduce ourselves, starting with Dodger.
Hello, I'm Dodger. I am eating the new fancy chicken tenders from McDonald's. They're not worth the hype, but they're food, so I'm into that. And there you go. There's my deets for today.
Wait, they're not worth the hype, and so you're into it?
I said they're not worth the hype, but I'm into it because they're food.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, nobody else likes these, so I do.
Such a hipster thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Such a hipster with your McDonald's.
What's up, ladies and gents? My name is Leonard from Sitting by the Window Anime Reviews, and I am the main protagonist of this manga. Confirmed as per pre-show banter.
I said that right before we went live, and Lou was like, what? And then I switched it.
She's not wrong. It's true.
Oh, no. It's totally
You haven't seen me with the shaved head, too. I've rocked the shaved head before.
Perfect.
Oh, dude, he looks just like Jordan. That's what's up.
So
Well, I'm Brooks from Subs and Dubs Reviews. I haven't posted anything for 4 months, but I am posting things soon, so prepare. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be something, but I don't quite know what it's going to be yet.
Well, I'm
So-
certainly prepared.
Prepare
I'm
yourselves.
excited.
It's going to be interesting.
Awesome. We're so happy to have you. Thank you for joining us this week.
I'm excited to be here. I've really been hyped about it like all weekend long. I was hoping it was going to be Tuesday, like Friday, Saturdays, all weekend.
Aw, that's so sweet. Well, we're so excited to have you here joining us for our March Madness, our continuation of March
yeah.
Madness month, where we are reading nothing but sports manga. We're reading all of the sports manga, nothing but the sports manga. So this week we read Real, volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 24, which is a basketball manga written by the same guy who did Slam Dunk, if that gives you any little bit of a hint about how great it's going to be. So, if you've never joined us for a manga pod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free recommendation, just kidding. Short spoiler-free description, aka a summary, and then we'll give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not. That way you can decide whether you want to take your leave before we get to the spoiler section and go read it and then come back and watch the VOD of this. We are going to have, as per tradition, our lovely guest read the description for the manga. So, Mr. Subs and Dubs, if you wouldn't mind.
All right, I'm just going to take this one straight from Annie List, so let's do this. Hang
Yeah.
on. Oh,
Known for their wonderful summaries.
oh man, it's going to be glorious. Oh, it's so corny, but it's the best at the same time. Nomiya Tomoe is a high school dropout who wants to devote his life to helping Natsumi, a girl he sentenced to a life of immobility after a tragic bike ride he invited her on. He tries to change his life around from a troublemaking delinquent into a reliable man. The problem is, both Natsumi and her sister don't seem to care for Nomiya, rightfully blaming him for the accident. Plus, the only notable talent Nomiya possesses is his talent for basketball. Everything changes for him when he meets up with Togawa Kiyoharu, a wheelchair basketball player. Dun, dun, dun!
Boom, boom, boom. Perfect. Thank you. That was wonderful.
So
All
it
right.
sounds super cheesy for a second. And then you realize who wrote it.
I know, it is like something you're like, oh, this is gonna definitely be a heart warmer for sure. Though I do want to
Change
say,
his life around.
there is
And
something.
help that poor girl.
It's gonna change for her. Though, can I say that? No, wait, I'll talk about that when we get to the spoilers. Spoiler-free recommendations. Anybody want to go?
I can go.
Hit it.
I was really surprised by this manga. It's in the past we've read lots of sports manga, and typically they're kind of delineated by, is this more about the sport or is it about the people? And this is definitely one that is very much about the people, and the sport kind of connects all of them. And it feels like such an ensemble cast in a way that I don't think any of the other sports manga that we've read has been. You follow lots of different people, you get lots of different stories, and they all touch you and have impact in totally different ways. So, yeah, of what we read, I loved it. I thought that it had way more weight and impact, like I said, than I ever expected it to have. So I definitely recommend it. I think that it'll surprise you. It's really good.
Yeah, I agree. I was surprised by how engaged I ended up getting into the manga and how much I really found myself just lost in reading it and wanting to read the next chapter, to where every chapter just kind of like, I would sit down to read 2 chapters and all of a sudden I'd read 10. So it was just like, it's a very gripping story, and it's a very interesting sports manga in that it's not a story we see. Oh, sorry. Derp just tangled himself in my headphones. Okay. It's not a story that we usually see in sports manga or sports anime. It's so much more focused on the heavier tragic aspects of the sport. And being an athlete, and that's something that was incredibly fascinating, that point of view, and just seeing that side of the story as well. And so I think it's something, if you're looking for a really character-driven story, you need to definitely check this one out. And it's really gripping, both during the few like action sports scenes we had, and also just with the characters and their backstories. And I think it's something, it's hard to read because there's a lot of sad stuff that happens, but it's definitely worth it for how well the story is being told.
I would also have to agree. It's just a phenomenal read. The cast of characters is really interesting and really out there, particularly the main character, which I resemble apparently. And
You do!
apart,
You do!
Oh yeah.
That's what I've been told by 3 people, so I'm gonna have to believe it. But apart from that, yeah, I mean, basically, you guys said everything that I had in mind. Beyond that, I would say it's just, it feels, in a way, in how it's propelling its story forward, like how Cross Game was.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, the sport is secondary, but it's still very, very important to the story.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. Go read it now. Well, not now, but go read it.
Yeah. Watch the rest of it when you come back after you're done reading it. But it's amazing. I would also recommend it. But like, yeah, like based on the synopsis, it sounds a little corny, and it's like, oh, wheelchair basketball, but it's actually really cool. And you have to know people who've been in wheelchairs to really appreciate like how much work lots of those people actually have to put in to, moving themselves around constantly. So I don't know. One of my cousins is in a wheelchair, so I respect that aspect of them, like, doing what matters, doing what works to like get yourself around.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's like a whole different look into like other people's like lives.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I think anytime we get an opportunity to read a really good manga that has representation of a totally different sort, I'm excited, and I'm really glad that it wound up being very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we all recommend that you go and read this manga. So thumbs up. If you guys do not want to be spoiled, now is your chance to go and read the manga and then come back and watch, where we read what we read. We only read up to chapter 24. So go and read that and then come back and watch the VOD of this right here on this channel. This is also an opportunity for me to tell you that we have not read anything past chapter 24, so in the chat and in the YouTube comments, please, please, please do not post spoilers for anything past chapter 24. We may not know, probably won't know, even if you're posting like a joke spoiler or something like that. So please, please, please just be careful, because there are no timeouts on YouTube. There are only bans. You'll get a warning, but mostly this is your warning right now. Just don't do it, because it hurts us.
Don't be a jerk.
Don't be a jerk. Or as we like to call jerks, rotten bacon butts. Don't
Rotten
be a rotten bacon butt.
Bacon butt.
Yes. So, on that note, let us dive into the spoilers, shall we? 5, 4, 3, 2. Yep. 1.
Nomia's got?
Yeah, I don't remember any of the names. Everybody's God. They're all God.
They're all
They're all
God.
gone.
The wheelchair is God.
The wheelchairs are God.
Wheelchairs are God. It's a completely different kind of manga. Just the wheelchairs. Yes. All right. So, question we usually like to start out with here on MangaPod. What was your expectation before reading this manga? I can go first. So we actually were going to have a real MangaPod back in, I think it was November, December, which Lou was going to be a guest on back before he became a permanent host. And it ended up getting canceled. So I had already read the 24 chapters that we were supposed to read back in November. And I thought I remembered it pretty clearly. And so going into it this time, I was like, oh, I'll just kind of skim through it. But I found myself getting just as into the story this time around, if not more so than I did back then. And going into it, I knew that it was written by the guy who made Slam Dunk. And so obviously I understood that. I haven't read all of Slam Dunk, but I have heard that his storytelling and his pacing and everything is like just premium amazing. Man. And so stellar. I was incredibly excited to go ahead and read this one. And also, I do like seeing different perspectives when it comes to stories that we've read, like, or genres that I've read a lot of, because sports, anime, and manga are one of my favorite genres. And so going into it, I was nothing but excited, and I was still pleasantly surprised with how fantastic it was, both in terms of just in terms of everything, from the characters to the story to the pacing to the basketball. All of it I thought was just blew my totally. I had expectations that were pretty I'm not expecting this to be bad, and then it just blew that away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I read this the first time I read it on a plane. I can't remember where I was going. So it was so long ago. It might have been going to England to visit the other fam. But I remember sitting there and being all right, I'm going to read some of the mangas, right? And suddenly I was done. It was so bizarre because it drew me in so deeply, and I felt all of the stories, because it doesn't only follow one person, like I was saying. It's such an ensemble sort of a story.
Yeah.
A lot of people are given a lot of importance with totally different stories, and I felt invested in all of them, and I liked how different they all were. I don't know, it really, really surprised me, because even I feel like this is the best written sports manga that we've read on here that has to do with the people exclusively, pretty much. That's so entirely focused on the people and who they are, and the things that they're struggling with. And it just so happens that for the most part they all love basketball, right? That's the framework.
Yeah.
But I think it's the best one that we've written that's very character based and very character focused. I do feel super invested in how their lives are going to turn out, and whether or not they're going to overcome hurdles and things like that. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. I read most of it last week. I read almost all of it last weekend, and then I read the last 3 chapters on Friday, and then today I was I think I'm going to reread all of it today. And so during my lunch break, I ate, I kind of just read, and I realized that I read all the way to chapter 34. And I was oh,
oops.
I already went too far again. So I guess I'm good. But it's really it really is compelling. Mm-hmm. And it's so stupid to say it like this, but all of the situations feel very real.
Yeah.
Everything that happens, it's that could happen, that could happen. Everything's very plausible. And all the characters react in just such unique ways. They're all driven in such unique ways. I don't know. I find some of the characters coincidentally hilarious. I don't know if they were meant to be funny.
Yeah.
But they were really hilarious. The main character, Nomiya, is just
he's
so coincidentally funny. The situations he ends up in.
Oh God, you just feel so bad.
I feel so bad.
He's our rock, though.
He's
our rock in a stream of emotions.
Yeah.
He's just he's constant. He's just Nomiya, man. And he
going.
he touches on everybody, and he's involved with everybody. But he's just that guy, man. He's our guy.
He's a good dude.
I love him.
My expect
so pure.
So pure.
So sweet, so pure, like driven snow.
So innocent for this
Oh, yeah.
world.
My expectations were, I would say going into this were pretty low because of the summary and the fact that I had no experience with the mangaka's work. Like I have not touched not even one page of Slam Dunk. It's been something that I've been meaning to get to, but I just haven't had a chance because I have a lot to read. But
That's the only
so yeah, my
manga-
expectations were extremely low because, like Brooke said, it was very campy, right? Or the way it was written. So
Oh, it sounds so corny.
I know, but beyond that, once I started really getting into it, it was really immersive, and a lot of the interweaving stories, just they felt very similar. In other words, like there was a common thread that was experienced that all the characters were experiencing, with the different ways that were being shown, how they were being put in wheelchairs, or what, the nature of their disabilities. And I don't know, it's just something that was really engrossing with that type of storytelling that I really want to finish this and go read Slam Dunk. So
Yeah, the only moment. What's the name of the asshole kid who's in the hospital?
Takahashi.
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 Yeah.
He's a
So,
dick.
dude, when I
Super dick.
when I originally was reading it, I remember that was the only moment when I was like, it's a little far fetched that like Nomiya,
Yeah.
had gotten involved with this world of like wheelchair basketball, and then it turns out that a guy that he played with, winds up.
In a wheelchair.
Yeah, but that the story revolving around Takahashi and like the way that he's struggling with accepting it and how he's dealing with it and so many other things, I was like, this,
Oh, man.
I'm so glad that this happened, not like in the context of the story and for the character, but I'm so glad that it happened so that we could see a totally different side of that world, right? And like
Yeah.
he's going through completely different things than we've been able to see from any other character.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, yeah, I was like, this was important. This was a very important thing for us to be able to see, a very important character to have in the story,
Yeah.
And like how
I have a question about that though. I mean, while you were reading that, how many of you, or did any of you see that coming, that he was going to get hit by a truck? Because I kind of saw that coming. I'm like, nope, immediate karmic retribution.
I
Go to
was
the
I didn't
next
see it.
page.
I thought it was going to be like he was going to get his ass beat.
yeah.
And then like maybe something bad happened. Like he tried to fight back and they like ran him over with a car. Like something weird like that. Like I was expecting some like, oh, I'm a Yakuza gangster shit.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't expecting like Mean Girls walked out in front of a freaking truck and just
Yeah.
get wrecked. Because that's
true, it was
basically
Mean
what
Girls.
happened.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't expect I expected like karma to happen, but I didn't expect there was a lot of stuff. So going off of the summary, there was so much stuff I was expecting from the manga that like was not the focus that the summary made it appear to be.
Yeah,
Like
same
with the
here.
girl at the like she was only in it for a few chapters and she definitely had a huge impact, but I was expecting her to have like an even bigger consistent role throughout chapters, but she was
Totally.
like removed from like physically
Oh, yeah.
pretty quickly. And so I wasn't expecting the story to revolve as much around like Takahashi with him, but I am so happy, like Dodger you said, I'm so happy that that was a part of it, because that was like just such a tragic story. And like reading that was one of the parts I really noticed the writing, like during
Oh, sweet puppy. What are you doing?
Babies like barking dogs.
I know. I'm so
I don't know if you know
You have
that.
no idea. I'm so looking forward to that. I'm just like, oh my god. I like to think that they'll bark one time and the baby will just scream and the dogs are gonna be like, we shouldn't do this anymore. Like, it makes that happen.
And then they become like overprotective.
Yeah.
They'll like
it's
sleep
just
by the babies all the time. Just
it's like, don't come here. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I think somebody just got home. But yeah, like that was just one of the instances, especially particularly his story, where it showed how amazing the writing is. Just because I did not like his character. Like, I hated him. He was such a dick. But watching him go through it, I was like, I felt so bad for him and like what he was experiencing. And it was written so realistically, and that he had that anger and the frustration and these like dark reaction, or like not dark, but like reactions to it that people tend to like paint as being really pretty. Like, oh, he had this happen, but he was so strong throughout the entire thing, or like he never let it get him down. But we get to see the heavier parts that come along with something like being a star athlete and having that just ripped away from you. And so
the psychology of
the
a lot of the
psychology,
situations in this story are so well written, where like, even though there were some situations, like I was saying, that felt far-fetched in their occurrence, I felt like the way that it was written out was very believable. Like, the characters never felt like they did anything outside of who they are and what they were going through, which I'm sure was so difficult to write.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because all their reactions feel so unique to each of them. Mm-hmm. Like, you could pretty much tell how each character would react in like Nomiya's situation when he's like shaking Takahashi to stand up and then like drops him.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit, like your legs don't work. Like the way he reacts, like everyone would have reacted like slightly different, but the way he reacts, you're just like, that's it. Like, it's so realistic as a character for him to like see it and develop is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what else I loved about that moment too is, rather than it being like, because Nomiya said all of this like, you've been trash forever,
Yeah,
like
He
you can't
went
call me
off
trash,
on
you've
him.
been trash forever. Yeah, I loved that. It's obvious from the way Nomiya reacts when he walks out of the hospital, like, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. Like, man, I suck,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like, I've been trying to be better, man, and I just keep screwing everything up. I don't know what's happening.
I loved that we knew, because we read manga all the time, we knew that him saying that was going to be one of those things that was going to push Takahashi to be like, fuck that guy. I can be
do it."
awesome. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to get better. And I liked that that in the end it wasn't Nomiya being like, I said all of that stuff to inspire him. Because like nobody fucking does that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
He said
was
it because
just-
he was like he was trying to be a dick.
Yeah,
And then when he
because
figured
he,
out
like,
what happened,
felt
he's like, I'm a
pissed off
shitty
about it.
person.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a shitty person.
He's like,
now.
I'm trying to be better, but I keep failing.
Yeah. So I just like that Nomiya is going to wind up, being one of the things that probably helps Takahashi like
Yeah.
do better, but it wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
It's just the way that like people touch your life and affect you, and maybe they don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Because most of the time that's how it goes. It's not like Nomiya was going, I'm going to inspire this dude. Like, that's not who he is.
Yeah, that's not his thought
It feels-
process at all.
It feels like the mangaka actually took the time to plan out the characters before he wrote the manga.
Yeah.
Where a lot of
That's such
like, you would think that would be something that more mangaka would do, but a lot of the times you just see things just kind of arbitrarily thrown together, and they call those things characters. And I don't know, that's just something that sets this manga apart. It's just everything feels so genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people will go in and be like, okay, I'm going to write the plot so it develops this way, and I want to make sure to hit all these plot points. It feels like he did that with every single character. Like, he went in and was like, even in the few chapters that we read, he was like, this is how I want the characters to influence each other and influence the story, and this is how I want the characters to be, which is so cool and so nice to see that. Really refreshing to see that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, and that's very apparent in his writing style and how most things are. You can tell he's got a really, really great structure for how he designs the story arc and how he designs characters. Because it's almost everything he does is just so good, so good. That first volume was a little rough.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'll say. The art was really rough in the first volume. And a little bit of the story pacing coming off the top was a little like, but mostly due to the art. But
yeah, there was a lot of we can go in and talk about pacing, and then we can jump on the art. Like, pacing, and the first few chapters were hard for me to get into because it was just like it felt like I was just kind of thrown into like Nomiya's life, and I was like, I don't really know how I'm supposed to be reacting to your interaction, like your
It was
interactions.
just all of a
with
sudden
people and
like
your
day in
actions.
the
Like,
life.
yeah, it's like all of a sudden this guy, main character, is pooping goodbye on the front of the school. I was like, it's like, am I supposed to like you? What's happening? Hi.
Yeah.
I really want to read this.
Yeah,
one.
it's like, what is this gonna be like? 24 chapters of poop
It's a poop
basketball.
manga.
I'm in.
Done. So
Longest running manga ever.
poop. So there was like the pacing, I think, picked up once. I'm trying to remember where it even was. I do agree that the first volume was a little bit rough in terms of the pacing. I think like it had to take a little while to get up. I think once I hit Takahashi's story, like that really just put everything else like up, like made it even better, like everything else.
Yeah, it kind of kicked it into overdrive.
Yeah.
For sure.
What do you guys think of oh god, Kiyoharu? Is that his name? Kiyoharu?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about him.
Yeah, we haven't talked
What
about
was-
him at all.
Yeah.
Dude, he's a cool character because at first I didn't really like him. I thought he was just kind of like a snobby little kid, and I was like, oh, this guy's just gonna be this like, oh, I'm so good, like I'm gonna just destroy. And I thought
Destruction.
I wasn't super excited on him at first, and then once we got into his backstory, I was like, dude, that's super intense. Like, my parents made me have piano lessons once a week. That's not so bad in comparison to every day.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
regimented. That would suck. It would suck so bad.
And then
So-
like finally discovering what it is you want to do and what you dream
Yeah.
to do as your own
Having it
person.
Ripped
And then just
away from
yeah,
you.
having it
Yeah.
like the two like the three girls were commenting in like the last chapter that we read about how just tragic it is that he like, is it tragic that he lost his leg before he could achieve his dream, or would it have been more
Yeah.
tragic if it had happened afterwards? And so like there's just so many different
Oh, that's such a
ideas
terrible.
and themes that all relate to the
such a-
tragedy of being an athlete that are
Oh, yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
That's like the best way for them to look at it too. It's like the best and worst way. It's like, well, is it better that he didn't get to the top, or the fact that he got to the top?
Yeah.
Like, which would have been the worst? Like the lesser of two evils, because each would have sucked. But
Yeah.
which one sucks slightly less?
Yeah.
Yeah, just the tiniest
a
amount.
I'll take the one with slightly less.
Yeah.
See, the thing with Kiyoharu is, apart from his backstory, I didn't really like him as a character. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a well done character. It's
Oh, you
just
didn't dig him?
that he's just a snobby little shit. That's
See,
very.
once I got into like the Tora stuff, like when Tora showed up, it was easier to identify with the character. I
Yeah.
would say.
For me,
I just couldn't connect with
until-
him at that way.
I liked his backstory a lot, but I didn't feel super connected to him, I guess, is what I would
Yeah.
say. It's not that I didn't like him, it's that out of everybody in the manga so far, I felt the least attached to him, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I would say he of the characters that we've seen so far, he's the one that feels closest to just a conventional sports manga character,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
and
would
that he's
agree
so
with that.
focused on his sports and on his rivalry with the Dreams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. And they even make mention of that, of how he has like the time to like have an ego and like hold the grudges. Like, I think that was in like the third or fourth volume. But it's cool because they kind of pointed out, they're like, yeah, right now, like, he's young, like he's 19 or whatever, like he's just gonna like play basketball and be like all about it. Like
Yeah.
one day he'll figure it out.
And they're like,
Which-
we're old, like we have
Yeah.
jobs and families and stuff.
We have a lives, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think Nomiya was my favorite character out of all the characters. But I definitely think I liked Kiyoharu more than I liked Takahashi.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah, Takahashi.
Yeah.
Takahashi. Yeah, I really I have like a soft spot for those like main sports protagonists who are like, yeah, we're gonna, or just like anime protagonists that are like, yeah, I have all of this will and spirit and stuff, and also tragic backstories.
Aaron really likes Gon type characters.
I love Gon type characters. I like Killua type
Gon is the
characters
best.
more, but
Killua
I
is
love
awesome.
Gon type characters too. And so, like, from the start, I would agree that right away he wasn't the character I connected with the quickest. But I always really enjoyed his character when he was there. He was a snobby little brat.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
super snob.
Super snobby
But that's
little
something
brat.
that I just love, that like all of the characters aren't particularly like likable at face value. And as we get to like either learn their story or like see what they're going through and experience it with them, like with Takahashi, or like learn Kiyoharu's backstory and just kind of see what's underneath that snobby brat exterior. I combined like 3 different words there. You get to see like him a little bit more and like his interactions with the girl too. So I really liked him. I think his backstory was really gripping for me, like with Takahashi's ordeal and what he was going through. I feel like Kiyoharu's backstory was also incredibly gripping for me. Particularly the imagery that happened with it.
Yeah.
The imagery throughout the entire manga has been fantastic, with like both Takahashi and how his body, like the chains when he had the wire around his legs.
Yeah.
That imagery, and then also the one with Kiyoharu's leg breaking
stuck in
off.
the ground.
Yeah.
That was super nuts.
'cause,
I was
like-
like, man, because that's what it is. That's what it feels like to them.
Yeah, and like what was
that part I was like,
how-
whoa!
the way it wasn't even just like the drawing of it, it was the way the mangaka put it in too, because it's on like its own page. So he's running and he's talking about how alive he feels, and then you turn it and you see his leg just like there, and you're just like, or like breaking, you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Just how
Super
just
intense.
really intelligent placement for it. I thought like it wasn't just, he understood how to make it have more of an impact without losing the value of what it was trying to drive home.
Absolutely.
Kiyoharu, I did love like baby Kiyoharu's like hair and how everyone thought he was a girl
Yeah.
because his hair is just all so pretty.
So cute.
It's so cute.
But yeah, you're right. Even Takahashi, I would say absolutely. Like, I don't like that guy. Like, he's an asshole. Like, I really don't like that guy.
Total dick.
But-
I feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
He's a total dick.
Yeah, like he's an asshole, but
I
the way
feel
that
for him more.
the story has been written, I am super invested in his story. Like, I want to know what's going to happen with him. I want to know how he's going to grow and
Yeah.
change, even if that growth means that, you know, his story is pretty much entirely negative and he just
Yeah.
continues to like spiral. Like, I want to know what happens to him.
Totally.
So,
Totally.
yeah.
It'd be like a beautiful train wreck. You can't
Yeah,
look
I mean, it honestly took to the point where he was self-mutilating for me to really just
Yeah,
Oh
dude.
my god.
That was
just
nuts.
really feel for how that pit of despair that he was in.
yeah.
It was once he started doing that, and I don't know, it was just really rough to deal with.
pretty intense.
Oh, it was one of those things that you're just like, you realize, and that was another part where you're like, there's a lot of times where manga that's dealing with psychological stuff will take stuff just to make it shock value and to make it be like, oh, look at this person's doing this, blah. But with him, it's like you can genuinely feel and
Oh,
understand
so
what
tense.
is
It's just like
happening. Like he's this high schooler,
stabbing
yeah,
himself,
who
man.
had like
Oh,
this world like just crash around him, and the one thing he loved taken away from him, and like
and then
his
that girl
dad
came up
and-
and was like, "I didn't mean to like confess to you." Blah blah blah.
yeah, and then
I was
she's
like,
leaves, so you're
no.
just like,
Way to
Get
kick
out
a
of
guy
here,
when he was
bro.
down.
yeah.
Get
So it's just
out.
like all of these things, and like when you think about the psyche that somebody is at in his age and how really fragile it is, and even if he is like a huge dick, like he is also very fragile in that
He's also a kid.
traumatic, the trauma that he just went through, and then having like because it wasn't just the trauma with his legs, it was like also his friends
Friends,
not being
it's,
friends,
like, social life,
his dad,
yeah,
having this hero picture of his dad, Herculean picture of his dad, and then his dad comes and it's just he's a
just
person.
Like,
he's
just
like
a regular dude.
Like just having that destroyed is just he had so much happen that you can realistically understand his mindset about. Well, I mean, you can't completely understand it, but you can figure like what pushed him to that point and having that breakdown. And like, so, yeah, that was intense. The stabbing. Oh my god.
This is so intense.
This is a manga that as I was reading it, I was like, could I handle this as an anime with like the voice acting and the music and like it would just be even more. I feel like it'd be even more intense if it was well
It's a lot more. It's a lot more mature than I was actually expecting to get out of it. Like I like based on like the title, I obviously assumed there would be like a certain amount of adult themes, but there were like way more adult themes attached to this in like random places than I like anticipated.
Yeah, they're also they're just for the benefit of people who are watching this later. There are a couple of people in chat right now who are saying that they're in wheelchairs and feel that it was handled very well. Yeah, that they were impressed with how it was handled and the way that the story was told. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That adds a layer of authenticity.
Yeah. And it feels like he wasn't just doing it as like a gimmick. He wasn't being like, okay, I'm going to put these people in wheelchairs so that they have tragic backstories. Yeah. It's like there's people
it was about
out there
crafting a real story.
Yeah, who have disabilities, and I want to tell their story. Like, I want to tell a story about them because they're people and they deserve the same kind of representation. And so it was really neat to see how incredibly well handled it was. And not just handled well, but also being just fascinating and like crafted a world that made me so engaged.
Yeah. It's really good. It's real good, guys. Really good. Should all read it.
Well, good.
It really is good, and the art, the art really does complement it.
Sorry.
There's actually a moment in the third volume, like I think it was like the 16th chapter, where the guy's like, "This is my real life," and I had that Family Guy moment where I was like, "Haha, he said it! I'm done."
He said the title. He did it.
He did it.
And I was like, "Yes."
I totally did that too. I was like, "Oh."
He said it.
I know.
You did it.
Whenever I'm like, it's real good, I'm like, I just laugh at myself. What are stupid good. Puns.
The story just felt so real, you guys.
It felt so real.
It felt so real.
Can we talk about the, sorry. Not to move on from the puns.
Uh-huh.
Can we talk about how, like, dickish that one captain of the Tigers is? Like, the adult dude?
Yeah, dude.
He's just like, Kiyohara wants to make a team and achieve a dream. Let's destroy it.
Yeah, let's not let him have anything.
Characters like that are always so... I know that those people really do exist, but I'm always like, really?
Yeah.
That's this irredeemable.
It's like, really? Do you actually exist? And then you think about it and you're like, yeah, people like that do exist. And then it just makes you sad. It's like, oh.
Yeah. And then you're like, the world sucks.
It's like, don't be the captain of the Tigers, guys.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
That guy does some shitty things.
Super shitty. Like, I did not like him. I did not. Of all the characters, I was like, you are the worst, sir.
You suck.
You suck.
Oh, man.
But then you have the other Tigers guys who want to try really hard and, like, get really into it.
And it's only like a certain group of them. And the rest of them are like, oh, this guy's terrible. We don't want. Why are you letting him act like captain? Yeah,
because then Tiger Captain dude is like, ho ho ho. I see how I can manipulate this.
I've got a plan.
Yeah, then disbands it, which I totally understand. Like, is going to be. I haven't read ahead, so I could be wrong, but it feels like it's going to go in the direction, most likely, of building a team of like, the Norimiya is not in a. What is his name?
Nomiya.
Norimiya.
Norimiya.
Even though he's not in a wheelchair, like, just, they're gonna build another team to play, which will be really fun and interesting to see, but it was definitely like, gotta get rid of the Tigers first. Gotta figure out how to disband them. Let's just have this huge Captain Dick.
Did you guys, I felt like for the most part, I was totally cool with the pacing. There was one part where I felt like, oh, we're doing this now. It was when Nomiya and what's his name? Shit, not Takahashi.
Kiyoharu.
Kiyohara?
Kiyoharu. When they were like, we're hustling now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the whole section,
Yeah,
were like
I was
out of
actually
the
gonna
blue, they were
say.
like, we're best friends and we're hustling people. I was like,
I was gonna say,
oh,
where did, like,
okay.
This like 10. I was gonna say we got to talk about the 10,000 yen thing. Like that was hilarious where they're ripping people off.
Yeah, just
Because that did totally come out of nowhere.
it was like, wait, what are they? Okay.
It totally fit
Cool,
Nomiya's
you're making
character.
money.
Though.
I feel like they just did
Oh,
that
it
so
did.
they could introduce the one rival for Kiyoharu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably it's a good plug, but it's like it did come a little bit out
Yeah.
of left field.
It was
but
like-
it's pretty funny that Nomiya gets like beat up and then gets all his money taken, and then
Yeah.
like finds the dude at his job and then beats the shit out of the guy.
Oh my god. And then he loses his job. You're like, oh my god, no.
Novia,
Nomiya.
just
Nomiya, babe.
come on, man.
Come on, boo.
Novia,
Just
you got it
trying.
done.
He's just trying so hard.
You're just trying to be a good
It's
guy,
so
but you're just
sad.
not.
Speaking of funny things, there was that one panel, I think it was in the first or second chapter, where he's gonna have his little game against Kiyoharu and he's asking for a handicap. I don't know, that made me laugh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like, listen,
Yeah.
I should get a handicap. He's like,
Yeah.
Kiyoharu's like,
Like,
what? Hold on.
It shows like how simple-minded Nomiya is though, because he fights on like that really like base level. He's like, oh, you're in a wheelchair, give me a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
Like no, we're gonna play on equal terms. Like I will try and win.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I love
Yeah.
that the humor isn't like this forced. I'm trying to be a comedy. The
Oh,
humor
totally.
comes from being
It's so
a realistic. Yeah, it comes from being realistic and natural. And that's
Yeah.
something
And
I really enjoy.
That's why I think a lot of it's just like coincidental, because certain things are just so funny, and it's just
Yeah.
like, I know it's like meant to be taken funny right here, but it's just so coincidentally funny at the same time.
Yeah, it's not.
There's lots of layers. It's like an
Yeah.
onion.
It's an onion. It's a
like
real
a-
onion.
That's a real
It's a
onion.
real onion.
I could go get a real onion too.
Cook some onions. I wanted to something about the pacing that I really wanted to bring up was one thing I loved about it is how I never felt like each character was getting too much focus.
Yeah.
I felt like the amount of chapters, it wasn't just one chapter here, one chapter there, one chapter here. It was like 3 chapters here, 4 chapters there. It was like every character got the amount of focus that its story needed at that specific time. And then right as it was like winding down, I would think, oh, I wonder, I haven't seen this character in a while. And then the next chapter would be like that character.
About that character.
And so it's just the way he has so many different storylines going and how they're slowly interwoven and like happening at the same time. We're learning about different characters at a very easy pace to follow and a very just nice pace. Like we're not getting too much of somebody to make it feel like we're learning way more than we need to. We're getting the right amount at the right time, which I think is really impressive.
Yeah.
You know what else I love about the girl at the beginning that he, hurts
Yeah.
and all that. And, we start off the story with him being like, I'm going to dedicate my whole life to you. Like, I ruined your life, basically, is his thought process. So, like, anything that you need, like, I want to make amends.
Yeah.
And I loved that you go into it thinking that it's going to be this story of, like, him.
Romance, and I'm gonna win her back.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
something sort of like that. Yeah, like
That's
like
kind of
them
what
having
I
this
don't know.
connection and
Yeah.
they like learn from each other and like all this stuff. And it turns out very quickly that she's like, I don't want you in my life. Like
Yeah. Like GTFO,
you know,
bro.
yeah, and them being super honest with him, like you're doing
not
this
welcome here.
because yeah, and also just, you're doing this because you're trying to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
It's a self-righteous reason. Like,
yeah, at the end of the day, like I'm trying to move on and I don't want you just like around, like that's the reality of it, not to make another pun. And like I really liked that. I like that he still thinks about her all the time, which of course he would. He still reflects on her all the time because he's at the where we're reading now, he's at this place where he's more inspired by her than anything, which I think is really cool. And so like she comes up more in terms of how big of an impact she's had on his life instead of it being like, you know, he kind of forced his way into her life as a presence, you know, which again, not to make the pun, but it feels much more realistic. Like like she, of course she wouldn't want him around all the time, you know.
Oh, if that happened to me, I wouldn't want to see the person who did it to me.
Yeah.
No.
Especially if
It's like
it was
I'm
some
trying to
random
move
stranger.
on, dude.
Yeah,
like
if it was a stranger
And
who had
Shit.
no...
If it was like a friend or someone I knew, then it'd be different. But if it was some random person, I'd be like, dude, why the hell are you here?
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it was
you want?
reinforced by when he went to go visit her after she moved away to go do her rehab, and just seeing her struggling through her rehab. I think that really reinforced the idea of she's just trying to get on with her life and doesn't want him around.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. So it's interesting. I'm excited to see, well, I would say outside of 24 chapters, I'm excited to see more how he grows and like how that, like what he tries to do to like reconcile with her. So that way he feels comfortable and like vindicated.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool.
And like what's nice about the character, especially his development, is that we've seen a lot, but it's not drastic. It's not like all of a sudden he has like a big breakthrough and he's a totally different person. Like he is struggling to be the person he wants to be, but it's that fact that he's still working towards it, even though he's making mistakes, that makes it so fun to watch, like to read it happening. Because it just he feels like a genuine, like a real person. He feels like somebody you could read about in like a blog or something. It just feels like he's real. That's all I'm trying to say.
He's real.
Yeah.
He's real. Capital REAL.
He's real.
Because that's the only way to do it.
All caps. All caps
All
real.
caps.
All caps real. Let's go ahead, since we're about 45 minutes in, let's go ahead and talk about art. What are you guys' thoughts on the art?
I love the art. I do agree that it was sketchy at the beginning.
Pretty
Not to make yet
pretty
another
down,
pun.
Yeah.
But
Pretty down after the first volume. Everything after was pretty solid. So
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm just sad I couldn't find more than like one volume locally. I had to order the rest online.
One thing that
yeah.
one thing that was kind of annoyed me about the art is characters that weren't main characters felt kind of samey.
I can see that.
I had trouble distinguishing like the different members of the Tigers at times.
Yeah. Oh, I did too.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
the only guy that I always recognize from the Tigers is that one dude with the really long face.
Yeah.
So he's like really long and then like the side wide. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah. High
I totally recognized him every time.
Got that.
I was
guy.
looking for him.
that guy.
On lock.
He's like my Where's Waldo. No, overall, I would agree with Lou. I would, especially when it comes to like their student friends. Like some of those dudes were hard to like tell apart as you started to get like, as the distance closes, obviously, like it's easier. But when they're like full of classroom shots, it's super hard to tell who's who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something I really loved was how realistic the character designs were, and that they didn't feel like they were trying to be anime or manga-y. It felt like it was trying to portray like real sketches of people. It was the facial features were very, at times, like, not, I don't want to say ugly, but at times they were like very like drawn, exaggerated in certain parts with like the lips and the eyes and the facial expressions, and so, but not in a cartoony way at all.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool, because that's something that's really difficult to pull off for a mangaka, because we're used to this certain style of being like giant eyes and crazy hair and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas for this, the detail was to portray the people as if they were in our world. Like we're not trying. It's not trying to take
real
us,
people.
Yeah, it's not trying to take us. I feel like if anybody's drinking right now and doing any sort of drinking game to that, I'm sorry.
So I brought Diet Coke.
Why didn't I think to do that before?
But yeah,
I'm
so,
not saying
like,
that it's like real. I'm just saying that like it
real.
felt like really real. You
like
know,
really
It's
real, you
really
know?
real.
Spring break.
There you go. Chug your drink.
so
They're both gone.
I loved that. I think the one character design that threw me for a loop every single time she was there was the girl, like Takahashi's like girl toy.
I love
Like
her.
I love her, but her character
that
design
random
every
chick
time
showed
threw
up.
me off. I was like, "Wait, what
Yeah.
are you? Oh, okay, you're a purse. Okay, I got it."
Sometimes
Like
she'd
her-
have a really
just the way-
round face.
Yeah,
And sometimes she'd have a really long face.
yeah. She was just drawn like very like. It was a character design I'm not used to seeing, so it threw me off guard. But I loved it.
Well, she was drawn the way that sort of one-off ugly girl manga girls are drawn. Normally we only see them for like a frame,
Yeah.
as like a gag. And I kind of love that when everybody else has abandoned him, the like one girl who he was like, she's not my girlfriend. I like hate her. I can't believe that she like
She's
spends
the
all
one
this
who's
time with me.
sticking around.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the only one who's like, I don't care.
Yeah, she's like,
Happy
"What's up?
birthday.
Good to see
Yeah,
you.
and
I'll get out
I
of here
kind of-
before you like yell at me.
Yeah.
I kind of hope that I hope that the way that the manga has led us to kind of feel the same irritation toward her of like, who is this girl? I hope that in the end we wind up being like, she was the only one who stuck by him.
Yep.
Like-
I'm already feeling that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh totally.
I like that she's drawn that way because we're so used to seeing like that sort of a character type in terms of how she looks just being like the butt of a joke and we never
Yeah.
see her
Yeah.
again,
Totally.
Oh, we didn't talk about Tora.
Oh yeah, dude, Tora. Tora is so sick.
Tora's a badass.
But he only shows
Oh
up for
yeah.
like he's like
just
pale
like 3
and
chapters.
It sucks
Oh,
that
I
he's
love
like
him.
he's the reason why I forgot to stop reading. Like
yeah,
I
it
don't know,
was.
he's a compelling character.
I like
So-
I like that he's just like there to be that mentor that Kiyoharu needs at that time.
Yeah.
Like
He's like right when he's like, there's no one who knows anything like what I'm going through. No one knows what it's like to have this. And he's like, you're the same as me. And he's like, the same as me. And he's like,
yeah, he's like somebody.
no way. It's real.
It's
I'm not
real.
alone.
Dude, yeah, he's great, and I want to learn more about him. And I'm also like,
If
We
you
don't-
read past the 24th chapter, like the next like 15 chapters, you'll like Kiyoharu a whole lot more as he progresses.
I was gonna say too, the kid who's losing his muscle, like all of his muscle control.
Oh, Yama.
Yeah, I already cried during a few parts of this, but I know that I'm going to cry
Oh, totally, dude.
when he dies, which we know is going to happen because now they're 19, and he said, I'm not going to live past 20.
Past
and
20.
I'm like, well, they're getting there.
They're getting there. The field train's coming.
That's the thing. Like,
This is Aaron, and this is the field.
The Express.
The field train's coming for you,
No
Aaron.
stops.
just me. Why just me? You guys should feel these too.
It's coming for all of us. I'm just gonna let it hit you first.
Thanks. I understand. I'll take the brunt of the feels for
Yeah.
it. I'll take the brunt of the feels for
But
all
I'm
of you.
but I'm really
Deep.
tall. I'm 6'5", so like I'll get hit right in the face with all the feet.
You're just- yeah, if Dodger stands behind me, she'll be completely like fine. Or no, if you stand behind Brooks, Lou, how
yeah.
tall are you?
5'11".
Man, I might have to
Okay.
stand in the front.
So
Save
it
everyone.
goes, no, I'm taking the brunt. We have
Okay.
decided I'll take the brunt of these feels. So it'll go me, and then I don't know who wants to be next.
And then Brooks,
Dodger.
and then
And
Lou,
then
and then me.
Yeah, so
Right?
Dodger's gonna get
Yeah.
no feels.
I'll
She's
be in
gonna
the back just
stone
being
cold.
like, why is everybody crying? And then Aaron will be literally sobbing.
I'll be
Brooks will be like single tearing. And then
Yeah.
Lou and I will both be like, what's going on, guys?
And I'll get it
that
tattooed
bad.
for my phone.
I might tear up a little bit, but not too bad.
Just- But that's as far
You'll
as
be
it
like
goes.
that guy
I'll
from
be a
Cloudy
puddle.
2, where he sucks the tear back into his eye.
That's gonna be
Yes.
Lou.
Totally.
And I'll be that heartless bastard. It's just like, God,
You
guys,
just
what
like,
are you
I
crying
was gonna say
about?
you take like a sip of coffee. You're just like, what losers?
I say this as though I'm not the person who cries at like every third episode of One Piece. They're just such good friends. They just love each other so
They
much.
just really like each other. I swear they're
They're
beverages.
besties forever.
Something about the art. Sorry. Something else. During the sports moments, the art was amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. There were so many of it, like pages that I just want to like print out and just have like
Yeah.
on stuff because I'm just like, oh, it just looks so
So
good.
good.
Yeah, some of the panels were so cool. And even in some of like the still frames they did for characters, just like the paintings, like the oil, like they look like watercolor paintings or something crazy. Those were really cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool because it showed like it was like a really artistic way of doing a character design because there's no borders,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
I loved that. There was no boundaries. It was just like what.
That'd make a really cool anime tattoo.
Ooh.
If you did watercolor like that on like something like that. Ooh,
Really good idea there.
more ideas for me to waste money on.
No. Oh no.
I know. Anyways,
No, I agree. Yeah, the art, especially during those moments, because it wasn't just a straightforward perspective. It was like different angles and different views. Like it wasn't just one easy drawing. It was like he took liberty and like tried to show.
And he stretched angles too, like
yeah.
Like he did a couple of shots from like the ground up where like the legs were a lot longer and like the way he stretched the body.
It was awesome.
It's pretty cool.
It looked cool. So let's wrap up and give our final thoughts and ratings, unless anybody else has anything else they would like to touch on.
It's great. Go read it.
That's not a number
concur.
score.
I know. That was my final thing to touch
Oh,
on.
okay.
I'll say it again in my final thoughts and ratings. I just want that to
I thought
be
that
like,
was your final thought and rating. I was like, there is
No.
no rating there.
it's real good.
It's real good.
Out of 10.
Is that your pun face?
Really, real good.
Whenever you say it.
Gotta go like creep like, whoa! I
Being
just like,
super
dropped
real
my
right
charger.
now. So good.
Oh, beautiful. I think. Yeah, see, ratings suck. I am so bad at doing the numbers. I think I'm going to give it what we read an 8 out of 10 because I loved how character driven it was. I loved the portrayal of the tragedies and the psychological aspects of it. I thought every single thing that should have been handled well was handled well while also being crafted and written magnificently. And so I think for not just a sports manga, but for a story in general, it was incredible. And I loved it and thought it was amazing writing. And I think that everybody should definitely go and check it out, even if they don't like sports manga. I think it's something that people need to read just to understand how fantastic of a writer this mangaka is and like how character driven he can create stories. And I don't think it was perfect because I do think there was a few times where the pacing felt a little weird and like it took me a few chapters at the start to really get into it and the art was a little wacky. But I do think it's on its way to being, if it keeps up the same quality that we definitely got the further we got in, if it just keeps that up, it's definitely like gonna be up there as one of like the most well written, I wouldn't say favorite, but one of the most well written and well done manga that I've ever read.
Totally.
See, I'm looking at your 8, and I'm thinking that's kind of low. I'm gonna give it a
I
9.5.
kind of want to raise it now that I said it.
The characters were all extremely well done and all very unique, not only amongst themselves, but just compared to other mangas that I've read. So the only gripes I really have are at times the art was a little wonky. Not just in the early chapters. I would say there were some instances that there was a clear lack of detail, whether it was intentional or not, like in backgrounds in the later chapters. But overall, amazing character-driven story, which for me holds more weight than art. So yeah, it's solid 9.5.
I'm going to change mine to a 9.
Much better,
That's
Erin.
how I feel. Not because you influenced me, but that's because of how I feel. But you also kind of influenced me.
Yeah, I'd have to say like overall, the first volumes worth of art not so great. Like Lou said, a little bit of it here and there, but the story totally makes up for it. Like it's something that I'm really excited to have a completed set for on my shelf when it's done. When I'm like able to get all, I think there's 12 volumes out or 11-ish volumes out right now. I don't know exactly the number, but it'll be cool to own all of them, and it's something that I'm really hyped to finish, and it's something that I definitely want to recommend to more people. So I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5.
Oh, I was like, 5 out of 10?
5 out of 5.
5
I do
out of
5s.
5. Perfect.
I do 5s. It's easier for me.
Oh, perfect.
I'm simple.
I was like, wait, you're going to say a 5 out of 10 after all of that?
5 out of 10. I was
It's
gonna
really
make I was
good.
gonna make a joke, but it's kind
1
of
out of
mean,
1.
so I don't want to.
Oh, 1 out of 1.
But at the same time, 5 out of 10. IGN.com. It was okay.
It was
Just kidding. 5 out of 5. It's amazing. I really loved it, and I think everyone should read it.
Awesome.
Yeah. I was thinking that I would also give it a 9. I don't know. I don't know what I can say that everybody else hasn't already said, but it just caught me off guard with how I'm just, you know what? Screw it. It caught me off guard with how real it was. All right.
Yeah.
So
With it.
yeah, it was real, you guys.
Real, y'all.
The characters were all so different and going through such different things, while also never feeling like they were out of place or like they didn't belong in the story. Like they all matter a lot. The writing is so good at keeping you invested in who they are and who you hope they could be in the future, and whether or not it goes that way, you're not really sure, because up until that point, there are normal manga conventions that have just kind of been thrown out the window. Like, you might expect this to happen, you know, because of friendship and love and all of that sort of nonsense. But guess what? That's not real life, and that might not happen.
Yep.
And that's kind of
Real life's
how the story goes, and I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
really, really appreciate that. Really, really real.
Real,
Real
real,
for real. I'm going to tell everybody to come watch this VOD, and I'm going to be like,
real,
every time people say real, take a drink.
drink.
And by this point, they will be passed out and never hear me say these words.
Dead.
It's so true.
They'll
That's
be
like-
real dead.
That's
Anyway.
like, I was randomly, sorry, not to be completely taken out. I was rewatching the New Year's Eve MangaPod, and where we decided to do like the drinking game. We had all of the different like things you have to take a drink for, and one was we had to take a drink. We named a series that made us cry, or that was like our favorite series, and then we had to take a drink for every episode that existed in that series. And so we like said, "You're lying, April," which was 11 episodes at the time, and so we had to take 11 drinks. And there was like one point where we were all drinking, and I finished mine, and Dodger's like, I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. And I was like, are you kidding me? I got like really angry. I was just remembering that. Y'all should go watch our New Year's Eve MangaPod.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yep.
New Year's Eve manga pod.
Next year's is going to be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've had so many guests.
Oh my God.
Brooks, you want to go for our New Year's Eve manga pod this year?
I'm so in.
Yeah.
I'm so
The
in.
Google Hangout is gonna be
I was-
great.
You know, I was actually gonna surprise Erin and like dress up in cosplay. I have a Midorima cosplay I've been debating on wearing
Amazing.
for a while,
Yes.
and I was gonna wear it today, but I just decided against it. So next time on New Year's Eve MangaPod,
Do it.
I will wear it.
Do
Oh, there's a
it.
logo.
I'll wear my
Aaron does it
kisei.
like Kisei.
Kisei, dude, because I have Midorima and I have Murasaki Bara, so I can wear either. But since my
Oh my
glasses
God.
are already green,
We're gonna
I'll shave my beard for cosplay.
shave it for Midorima.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Midorima is worth it.
Oh man, New
Yeah,
Year's Eve is gonna be
because
amazing.
we have those jerseys and we have
Dude.
so few times we get to wear them.
Okay, I'm gonna come to Anime Expo for a day,
Yes.
and I'll go.
We'll wear. I'll wear mine.
I'll wear mine on
I'll
the
be
plane.
super pregnant wearing mine.
I'll just be Midorima
Super
on
pregnant
the plane.
Kisei.
Super pregnant.
You'll be super pregnant, Kisei.
Oh my God, I should.
You're the Dojin version.
Yep. Mpreg.
I
The
should
Mpreg
still
is
like.
real.
Yeah, I should like man preg it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, totally, dude.
Done.
That's gonna be so.
Oh my God, there's
perfect.
gonna be fan art of me as Kisei, just like
Oh.
pregnant.
Absolutely. Tumblr is gonna die.
It's gonna explode.
Pregnant Kisei.
Oh, it exists. I bet.
Oh.
Okay.
If you find something, put it in the comment
Yeah.
section.
Oh, I will.
Of course.
Oh my God! First fucking picture.
Are you
Oh,
serious?
it's gender bent, so it's not Mpreg.
Oh.
It's just pregnant
Uh-oh.
Kisei.
male pregnant.
With Aomine Daddy looking really oddly possessive
I was
over
gonna
her
say-
belly.
I typed in male pregnant, and it goes male pregnant symptoms, male pregnant looking belly, male pregnant Sims 4, male pregnant Tumblr. I'm like, okay.
I think the
Got it.
internet's trying to tell you something.
The internet is trying. Oh, hey, there's a gender bent. Oh, but that's Kasamatsu. Oh, but I mean that's fine. Anyway, okay, so let's wrap up. We all recommend this manga. We think you should
Read
all
it.
go check it out.
And then go read Slam Dunk.
I know. I need to read Slam Dunk. Finish it.
Maybe go
Finish
read
it off.
Slam Dunk first, and then come read Real.
How
They're
many
both
chapters
okay.
is Slam Dunk? It's
A lot.
A lot, right?
A lot.
Hold on. Slam Dunk.
Swam dwank.
Let's find out.
Slam Dwank. It is 200. Oh, it's 278. I should have remembered that because it when Kuroko ended, they were like, it ended just short of catching up to the other basketball manga, Slam Dunk.
The other
Slam
only
Dunk,
basketball manga in the world. Slam Dunk.
Because
like,
if I'm not mistaken, Slam Dunk the longest running basketball manga.
It was, yeah, because Kuroko
It was.
ended at 250 chapters.
Yeah.
So, I think it is.
Kuroko, so good. Oh yeah, stupid question. Is the game with Kisei done so I can go watch all of that?
It'll have
Okay.
about one more episode left.
Yes,
Or maybe even half an episode.
I've held out for so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, this game is long.
I have been holding. I know. I've read all the way through it.
Oh, have you read it?
So I knew how long it was going to be, but I'm like, I'm not going to wait week by week.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to game by game.
Oh.
That's what I've been doing, and it's been a miserable experience because
Dude.
everybody's blowing up Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, no joke. I apologize if people on here have been wondering where I've been. I have been staying off Twitter since Kuroko started because I will not be spoiled.
Yep.
And when I'm on Twitter, it's only because I am directly joking around with people
Only two people.
or shit posting.
Well,
I'm
shit posting
really-
is basically all
I'm-
any of us do.
Yeah,
Let's be
basically.
honest.
That's
Yes.
us. We're shit posters.
That's like my my Facebook page for Subs and Dubs reviews is like shit posting on crack. That's basically where it is right now. Like I only post like the most outlandish things on Facebook.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I'm gonna link you to
You
one
should
because
post male pregnant Kisei on your Facebook.
I'm going to send me the picture. It's gonna be
Shit
super
post
campy.
forever.
The first image on Google search.
Yeah,
there.
the first one. There's also, if you type in male pregnant Kisei, there's another one that's like Kisei sitting on the couch all pregnant,
And preg.
looking so happy.
And
For real?
And preg Kisei.
Oh, yep, there it is. What the
See?
shit? That picture's so weird.
It's real weird. It's like almost cute, but then you're like,
It's weird.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the summary for the manga that we are reading next week.
That's weird, dude.
I know, it's real weird.
I just got it pulled up on the
It's
shit.
real.
Real.
Ah! Drink.
The puns,
Bringing it
the
back
puns,
around.
they're invading.
How would you
Puns
think?
are everywhere.
Puns are ever. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the summary for the manga that we are reading next week. Chat, you get to guess what it is, which is like your favorite thing in the entire world. Okay. Believing himself to be useless at football, Aizawa Kakeru opts to become the manager of his school's football team, while his brother Suguru is its ace, and is even good enough to represent Japan. However, Kakeru may be harboring a strong talent within him that only Suguru can see, and the two often get into arguments over Kakeru's denial of his skills. Things are made even more complicated with the return of Nana, an old playmate of theirs that Kakeru has a crush on. Join the brothers in their journey to the nationals and even international championships. Story written under the pen name Igai Hiroki.
Someone already got it.
Perfect. Yeah.
The Grand Pro.
Area no Kishi. Night
Dodger,
in the
that picture is
area.
so perfect.
Real good, right?
That picture is
Oh no, I
killing me
can't look
right
at it
now.
yet. Is it a Kisei?
Oh
Is
my
it a pregnant
God.
Kisei one?
No, there. You'll have
Oh.
some pictures for me to look at when.
It's killing me, dog.
That's wonderful, Dodger.
Perfect. Yeah, I can't look at it yet because it'll mess up the overlay, but I am excited.
Someone just guessed Shingeki no Kyojin.
Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Yep.
we're doing.
Tower of God.
Tower
right?
of God,
Yes?
yeah. So Battle Angel
cool.
Alita.
Just making sure.
It is Night in the Area, which during that manga pod, if I call it Night in the Arena, is because forever I was convinced and I thought that's what it was, but it's not. It's
in the
Area,
Arena.
which sounds weird. It's just a weird title.
Night in the Arena sounds way cooler.
Right? That's why
I'm
I was
with
like,
you on
yeah.
that.
And then I saw Area and I was like,
Dyslexic people that just add letters in places.
Yeah. It's like
gotta
my brain
stick
just
together.
inserted the N, and it's
Oh,
been that way ever since. Now that's what I believe it is.
Yep.
So yes, next week we are reading. Oh shoot, I lost. Hang on, I lost the Reddit because the schedule because I typed in male pregnant kissing, so I had to fix that. Yes, so next week we are reading Night in the Area, volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 28, with special guest Anime Justice. Ooh. Yes, this should be super duper fun. So that will be the last of our March Madness sports. That'll be the last. So let's go ahead and shout out our stuff super duper fast. I am Erin of HappiLeeErin. You're here on my channel. I do anime reviews and anime first impressions, as well as all of the previous manga pods are hosted here. And I also do mental health awareness. Ooh, bug. I do also do mental health awareness videos. If you'd like to find me on any social media, I'm HappiLeeErin all across the everything. If you come follow me on Twitter, I tweet about like things. Probably gonna be a lot of on Instagram and Twitter. It's probably gonna be a lot of baby tweets for a while. I apologize.
Oh,
in advance.
yeah.
Erin's pregnant.
I'm super pregnant. I finally can tell people, and so it's just been like blarg.
I know.
Right?
I kept having to talk about my pregnant friend,
Oh.
and then everybody'd be like, "Your cousin, right?" And I'd be like,
yeah,
Sure.
That one.
"It was nice because my cousin is pregnant, so everybody just assumed I was talking about her."
Which made it very
I'll work
easier to
out.
hide it.
That's nice.
Guys, we've known since January. It's been a long time.
It's been so long.
So when do you guys find out if boy or girl?
Next month. So, 4 weeks. Oh, I'm so
That'll be
excited.
sweet.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be crazy. I'm excited. But yeah, that's me. Hey.
Hi, I'm Dodger. I have 2 YouTube channels, youtube.com/pressRTontinue, where I do gaming and anime-ish stuff. If you are interested in the game Life is Strange, I'm literally uploading the beginning of the second game in that series right now. So you can maybe watch that like right after MangaPod.
You should
So
do
yeah,
that.
if any of that sounds cool to you, come hang out. And also on youtube.com/dexterity-bonus, that's more my like vloggy channel. The actual vlogs are on hiatus right now, but I have been uploading VODs from my live streams of a show I do called Saturday Morning Dooger, which is basically just like a really long vlog that happens on Saturday mornings in a live stream. And if you're into live streams, you can follow me on twitch.tv/dexterity-bonus. And on all the social medias, I'm at dexbonus, DEXBONUS.
Whee!
Yeah. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Lou, and I'm from Sitting by the Window Anime Reviews. You can find me at youtube.com/SBTW Anime Reviews and Twitter SBTW Anime Review, no S at the end. Recently uploaded my response to the manga tag that Erin tagged me to do.
Woo! Oh,
And-
no, you froze. But it's fine.
Did I freeze?
Yeah, you froze a little.
You froze.
Oh, okay.
But
But
Anyways,
it's fine.
but you can hear me. That's what
Yeah.
counts.
It's Joe.
We can
And I
hear you.
actually tagged the person that is guessing next week, Eric. He's also going to be a part of the manga tag. So yeah, that's my stuff. And if you're too lazy to type it, it's in the description. So go click away.
Yeah. It's down there.
And I'm Brooks from Subs and Dubs Reviews. You can find me at youtube.com/dankdrummer, Twitter at dankdrummer, my Instagram is dankdrummer. But it's probably all going to change to Subs and Dubs Reviews here soon because I'm just lazy and I haven't done that yet. So that is me, and I do things and stuff. And with Bloodborne being out, I am going to start live streaming Bloodborne. So
Oh, awesome.
twitch.tv/Subs and Dubs Reviews.
Yay! And all of those links are in the description down below. So
And watch me die all week long.
come watch
yeah,
me die.
so many deaths.
Oh, it's going to be terrible.
It's gonna be
Oh,
great.
it's going to be terrible. I have over 500 hours into one character on Demon Souls individually, not including any of my Dark Souls 1 or 2
I was
saves.
gonna say, I'm assuming that's not including Dark Souls
Thousands
stuff.
of hours.
Gosh.
I have to unlearn everything.
Hearing you laugh with your face frozen.
It was so weird.
No, I embodied that main protagonist.
Yeah, you are. Oh my
I
god,
am
you're the
Nomiya.
thumbnail
Oh, yeah.
right now. If you had a
Nomiya.
basketball, it'd be perfect.
Dude, you got to shave your head.
Yeah.
Again? All right, I'll do it. That's
Dude,
okay.
you got to bick it
Become Nomiya. Become Nomiya. Become Nomiya.
because then you're going to look like Jordan, dog.
Yeah, you're gonna be Jordan.
I just grow it out and look like Kobe.
Kobe.
Just throwing out keywords. Kobe.
Kobe.
Jordan.
Aaron with the assist.
Yeah. See? Look at me help you guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank y'all so much for watching MangaPod.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming
Yeah,
on,
thanks for
Brooks.
joining.
You were
I'm super
awesome.
hyped.
You'll have to come on for another one for sure.
Oh, I'm totally down.
Awesome.
If you do, have you guys ever done slam dunk before?
We haven't.
We should
Dude.
put that on
We
the
should,
list for next.
sure.
For
You should put that on the list for sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
For
that'll be
sure.
our next sport. We should add that as our next sports one to touch on. For sure. Awesome. Yeah, and you'll have to come back and join us for that.
I'd love to. I'd love to come back for anything. So if you guys ever read like Ava again, I'd be super down. Ava's my favorite.
Nice.
So if you can't tell,
I was gonna say it's right behind you. So
I have a very nice figure case full. So I do Ava things.
I do Ava things.
I do Ava things, and I got expensive Ava tattoos.
Oh, whoa!
So
sick.
it's pretty slick, but it hurts like a bitch.
Did you just get it?
No, that's like a year and a half, almost 2 years old.
Oh, was that
So-
Shinji and Rei at the bottom?
Yeah, so it's like Unit 1 up top,
Oh my god.
and Shinji.
That's
Yeah.
so awesome.
And then I'm going to get Unit 2, Asuka and Kaoru on this side.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So that'll be slick,
That's dope.
but I have to like have money to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
save up for it.
And I have two kids now, so
Yeah.
I only had one kid when I got the last one.
So it's like
Easier to pull off.
It's easier. Not so easy now, so I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome. Those are cool. I didn't know you had those. Those are neat.
They're fun. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would say I'm not super vocal, but I have homies, and you guys are my homies, so I like people that I like.
Aw, yay!
We're delighted to be your homies.
I'm happy to be the homies. Everyone in chat's like, nice tattoo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
that's
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you all so much for joining us, Brooks. And again, have to come back. You were wonderful. We will be here
Definitely.
same time, same place next week, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Reading Night in the Area or Area no Kishi, volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 28, and we'll be joined by special guest Eric from Anime Justice. So you'll have to all come and join us for next week for that as well. So thank you all so much for watching.
Wadding.
Thanks for watching, guys, in YouTube chat and in the comment section for those of you who are watching the vlog, whatever. Bye.
Bye.
That's how we're gonna end it.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
later.
Switching over.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked you didn't
Yeah.
like pushing.
Bye.
Bye,
See ya.
everybody. See ya. MangaPod. Yay. Woo. Bye. Real. It's real.